All right, we ready? Let's get on with negotiation skills. All right, for your planning purposes, why don't you figure somewhere in the neighborhood of about an hour and 10 minutes for this class tonight. And again, as usual, if you have any questions, stop me. This is for you, okay? It's for you. There are no foolish questions. The only foolish questions are questions that we always talk about. People don't buy on price. People do not buy on price. They buy the most they can get at the best price. They buy on a price-value relationship. Remember that. And likewise, as I've said a number of times in the listing classes and in the seller classes, you never want to tell a seller that their property is overpriced. Never. Even when you have the listing, especially when you're at the listing table, but when you have the listing, you never want to tell the seller that their home is overpriced or their property is overpriced. It's like telling them they've got an ugly baby. Okay? What do you want to tell the seller? Say it? Okay, someone whispered it back there, at least one person was listening. You always want to express to the seller that buyers are not seeing the price-value relationship. You've got to point out to the seller very clearly, as we talked about in presenting comps, that buyers are very savvy today. Buyers know the market. They know when a property's been on the market for a while. They know when a property is stale. They know when a property is priced right. And if a property is overpriced, the buyers won't even visit the property. Now, if you make that very, very clear at the listing table, and 2 months down the road, if you had the listing, the seller is all over you wondering how come there's no buyer appointments, you can reflect upon the things that you told him or her at the listing table about what happens when there's an overpriced listing. Setting expectations at the listing table is absolutely critical, and it helps prepare the seller in that scenario for the worst case. All right? Be aware of the power of timing. When a buyer makes an unrealistic offer on a property that's rejected, and then several weeks wants to go back to it, and that property's gone off the market or there's an offer on it, that is the best scenario to drive home a point in that buyer's mind.